Hello guys, it's Chowmaster. Time doing another weekly blaze for the first time in about a month actually. So this is a news week. So I usually do these whenever I know there's going to be a lot of news, and actually quite a bit has happened since. I almost recorded one last week just because of how much stuff there was, but I decided, you know what, I'll just save it all for this week. So today is actually barely Sunday. It's actually only like 5 a.m. Time just changed a couple hours ago, so that's cool. And yeah, so basically, what I have this week. So there's going to be the CoroCoro, which could potentially give us Beyblade news. At least a teaser would be cool. Probably some Bellman stuff, so that's exciting. We also had some Bakugan news drop last week. And I'm going to start with none of that. We're going to start with Mario Kart. So let's just get this out of the way first, because it's definitely like the most random thing, and probably will be the quickest. But new Mario Kart Wave came out. We got a new character finally with Birdo. Nice, I guess. And then there's actually going to be 5 more characters added, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why they didn't just do 1 per wave instead of whatever they're doing now, but whatever. Or at least like do 2 per wave for like the last half of the waves. I don't know. Anyway, we go ahead and just rank them really quick. So my least favorite track has to be Mario Circuit from Mario Kart DS. This track is like, for a circuit track, it's not bad for sure. It's actually not bad at all. It's a pretty decent track, but again, it's still a circuit track, and generally they just aren't that crazy. Again, this one has a little bit more personality than most, but it's just not like too crazy or anything. So it's nice though. See, 7th, Amsterdam Drift. It's another tour track, and it's not a very interesting one. A lot of the tour tracks just they just mesh together, and I'm just kind of indifferent to most of them. This one is no exception, so there you go. 6th, Riverside Park. I feel like a lot of the Super Circuit tracks are just kind of there. They're not that interesting, but they're kind of cool, I guess. This one, yeah, it's actually not a bad track at all. I do like it enough, and it's a fun little track to play. It's just nothing that crazy. This wave was actually just pretty good, though, so this being at 6th is a good sign. 5th, I'm actually going to do 5th and 4th together, because I'm kind of a... I don't know what I'm going to put higher up, but I'll give my like slight preference, I guess. But 5th is going to be Bangkok Rush, and then 4th, was it Singapore Speedway, I think? Yeah. So Bangkok Rush, it's a tour track, but it doesn't really feel like one. It almost reminds me of like a Delfino Square, Shy Guy Bazaar type of track almost. Which is a good thing for sure. It definitely gives me more of that kind of vibe. And I do prefer Singapore Speedway slightly, but it feels more unique. Definitely, like, there's just more to it than, again, just an average tour track. So both of these actually are really good tour tracks, I will say. Just good overall, though, so it's nice. But then we have some other good tracks here. So 3rd is going to be Yoshi's Island. This is actually a brand new track, and I think that they did a really good job here. It's a fun track to play. Not like anything too insane, but it's just a really fun track, and that's all it really needed to be. Alright, number 2 is going to be Waluigi Stadium. This track is weird, because I really like it a lot, but it's also a little bit annoying at times. I had a weird time where I was in first place, and I was playing on 200cc. I went up a ramp, and I like flew like halfway across the course backwards, and I was like, when I landed, I was in 10th. I don't know what happened, but okay, sure. Not half the course, but it was like a decent bit back. Like, I don't know what happened there. It's still a fun track, though. It just gets a little bit chaotic at times, which I think maybe it's a good thing, but, Anyway. First has to be DK Summit. This just feels like a great map. Nothing else really to say. It's just great. It was great back in Mario Kart Wii. It's still great now. Very excited to see what they do for waves 5 and 6. But wave 4, really good. I think that the weakest was for sure wave 3. I just didn't care about it. Not much at all anyway. Wave 1 was probably above that. Really good start, I would say, for the most part. Then I put wave 4. It was really good, but I still think wave 2 edges it out. Wave 2 is wild with how good it was. And, like, don't get me wrong, wave 4 is great, but I don't think it's going to match up to wave 2. Anyway, Although to give Wave 3 some credit, 'cause I did just kind of call it mid basically, Maple Treeway and 7 Rainbow Road are both really good, so there's at least those. Just nothing else really. So, anyway. So I got the Mario Kart discussion out of the way. We're good to go now. We can get into the actual things that relate more to my channel, so that's good. First up, Bakugan. We actually know about Bakugan stuff, and let me tell you. So, Bakugan Legends is going to probably go down as, in my opinion, the worst Bakugan season ever, because it was literally just reprints, with the only new thing being Nova Bakugan, which I just made a whole video on, just basically saying I don't like them that much. So, that says a lot, I think, but outside of that, I kind of thought there was going to be a second half to this season, or if not, a crazier Season 6. It seems like that's not happening. We're not getting a Season 6 or more Legends. We're getting, in July apparently, the third generation of Bakugan. This completely blindsided me. I did not expect them to do kind of a reboot at all. But yeah, they're doing it. So what are my thoughts on this? I actually think this was a good move. I am going to make a whole video on the reboot sometime before July. I might wait until at least next month on that one. For those of you who don't know, I am in college, and I do finish relatively early. I finish kind of just past the midway point of April. So for me, that's barely more than a month left. And yeah, once I finish, I'll be good to go, and I'm done. And I'm on summer break after that. So I do really want to make sure that I just finish up, do fine. Don't want to go too crazy with with videos. I still have a couple of bigger videos to make. One in particular, probably my next video. That'll be a bigger one. I have to check the footage because I did make another video, but I need to check if it was good or not because I kind of didn't like how I was in it. If I'm just overthinking it, I'll upload that anyway, but I gotta get a Beyblade Burst retrospective out as well. I need to record that very soon here. That's a video I need to make because, well, I kind of want to do it before 4th Gen is officially announced. At least from the 3-2-1 stuff. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Anyway, Bakugan. So the main gimmick of these is that they split in half. That's actually a pretty big gimmick. They split in half from a top and bottom hemisphere rather than kind of a front and back with Bakutech. The mechanism doesn't look as good as Bakutech in my opinion. I don't think this is as crazy as Bakutech, not even close, but it's okay, it's kind of cool. The designs feel very much like a mix of Legacy and Reboot, which I think is a good thing, actually. I kind of don't like that it's somewhat Reboot-esque still, but at the same time, maybe if they could utilize that well, they go some kind of the crazier designs like we saw with, I don't know, Battle Planet or Geogun Rising Ultras, and they kind of kept that vibe, that'd be cool. But there are some that feel very much like a Legacy type thing, which I like. So overall, I don't know if I like this more than the reboot yet, but I think I probably will, hopefully. I mean, to be fair, Battle Planet was just kind of off to a rocky start, in my opinion, in most ways. Armored Alliance didn't get much better. Actually, I think it was a little bit worse. And then, oh yeah, I still have my Christmas trees up, don't mind that. I'm taking those down this week for sure. But, yeah, anyway. Outside of that, though, I think Geogun Rising was the best season. Looking back, I think they got a lot more right here. Evolutions kind of kept that up, but we just didn't get enough to really warrant putting it above Geogun Rising. And Legends, even though the quality, I guess, was there, it was kind of just mostly used on reprints. And yeah, I think this reboot, it looks pretty good so far. Not good, but it looks more interesting than the 2nd gen, I would say. I do hope they incorporate a lot more from the 1st gen this time around, because I think that's what most people want. And yeah, we also know that special attacks are coming back, but not really in a way that we had expected, so it seems we're going to be able to put this big ring type thing in the middle of the hemispheres that you could put a ripcord in. It's like a Beyblade type thing, and I'm okay, sure. These, I know a lot of people seem to not like them. I'm personally just interested to see how they go. Hopefully they're good. If they are, great. If not, I guess, yeah, sure. I guess the best way to describe the reboot, I shouldn't say reboot, the 3rd gen for me is just kind of intrigue. I want to know what it's about. I don't think I'm going to get back into it like I was with first gen, nor do I think I'm going to have a big few months with it like I did with the reboot where I was just like obsessed with it. Even at the time I was kind of still like not as into it as I was with a lot of legacy stuff, but I was just happy to see Bakugan back was all, because it had been so long. It was like a 7-year gap, you know. Even like I remember looking back at the reboot, like the original images that came up. Even back then, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of unsure about these, and this time around, I feel a little bit more positive at least. Not like way more positive, but a little bit more at least. So it's something. I'll probably talk more about Bakugan as it, stuff comes out, but it's at least nice to be able to talk more about Bakugan on the Weekly Blazes because there's actually some interesting stuff happening for once. So that's cool. Next thing, Bottleman. This is something I'm not going to be talking about today. It's purely just a thing so I could tell you, yes, Bottleman news will probably happen in the CoroCoro. Right now we're waiting to see what will happen with the kind of what seems to be probably the new protagonist's Bottleman, and then also what I think is going to be a new Samet's evolution. We'll see how those go. Hopefully those get announced very soon. Also, yes, I'm aware that Random Collection Volume 3 has come out. No, I haven't bought it. It is expensive as hell for no reason. And if it's going to be like $150+ like I've seen it for, I'm just skipping it because it's such a mid-random collection. I'm not bothering paying that much. Like, look, I know I buy most things, but even I have a limit, you know. I'm not paying $150 for that. It's just not happening. So anyway, that aside, there's also Beyblade news. So we got an announcement recently of Beyblade, not an announcement, but like I guess a sort of a tease of sorts for a Beyblade Generation X, the 4th gen. Well, it looks like we are going to get a 4th gen. I'm very glad I did not upload that video to be wrong again, because I've been trying to push this idea of a 3rd year of DB/BU for a while now, and I almost made another video on that, like in January, but I deleted the video. Like, I never uploaded it, I just deleted it off my camera. I'm kind of glad I did now. So yeah. So basically, okay, what's this going to be about, right? That's kind of the main thing. So we don't really know a whole lot about it. We have the product numbers, though, and I can tell you about that and some of my thoughts there, but we don't entirely know anything about the designs. They're kind of described as being advanced and high-tech, but not like in an electric way, so we don't really know what that means yet. It might just be some corporate lingo, so who cares? So we'll see. I'm just going to hold off on a lot of the information and stuff until the official announcement. But for now, I do have some things to talk about, which are the product numbers. So we do have product numbers. And this time around, they are using BX. So no more B or whatever. Just, I think that the plastics used A, and then Burst used B, and then Metal Fight was BB. Except for Zero G, which is BBG. So now we're on BX, apparently. So BX... 1 through whatever. So BX1, BX2, BX3, and BX4. These are starters. We're having 4 starters to start off the gen, which makes sense. I am very excited. I probably will only be getting the first 4 at the start, just because it's probably going to be a lot. And apparently, by the way, they're going to be like 1,900 yen per starter, which is like, what? Come on. Like at the start of Burst, they were way cheaper. They were like $12.82, I think, for a regular starter. And like I get it, inflation, but still, like, man, that's a steep cost. Like, that's still gonna be like 15 USD, and knowing how everywhere else is, it's probably still gonna be like a $20 import. Probably even more. Probably gonna be like $100 to buy the whole fucking wave. So I'm not happy about that at all. But I was actually looking forward to a new gen somewhat, purely because I was hoping we'd get kind of a reset in price, so I wouldn't be spending however much per thing, and I'm really, again, not happy at all that it's going to be probably that much. So yeah, yeah, I don't have much to say, just kind of like why. we'll see how they are. Hopefully they're good. Hopefully they're worth that kind of increase. Because again, usually Beyblade gens start off very cheap, and then kind of progressively move up. Was really hoping it was going to be like that here, but it doesn't seem like it. Although apparently I've heard something about earlier releases don't account for tax, so these do account for tax, so maybe it won't be as bad. If it's under $20, I'll be happy at least, per starter anyway. So we'll see how that goes, I guess. Yeah, but we are getting 4 starters, and that is interesting. Next up, we have BX05 and BX06. These are both boosters, apparently. And they'll probably just be a kind of recolored boosters. Probably like we saw, in every other generation at the start. They kind of release some recolors. Like in Burst, we got the few of them released with the original wave. I'll probably wait till like my birthday or something for these, honestly. So there's 2 of those, kind of. We'll get back to that. But there's the 2 right here. These are apparently going to be like 1,400 yen, I think. So, again, 1,400 yen per a booster? Like, yeah, that's a decrease from Burst, but it's really not that big of a decrease. Especially because later Burst was accounting for tax, and if 1,400 is also accounting for tax, this isn't a big decrease. That's not a good sign. Because assuming that these things get more expensive over time, we're probably going to be at like 2,200 yen per booster, and probably like, I don't know, almost up to like 3,000 yen per starter by the end of this generation, which I'm not looking forward to. That's a lot to spend on everything. So hopefully those come down a little bit, but anyway, doubt it. Or just don't increase as much, I guess, but I don't know. Now let's actually get to something that I'm very, okay, no, that's next. Okay, BX07, the battle deck set, or not battle deck set, entry set. That'll probably be like the typical stadium launcher, maybe slight recolor of the main bay. The usual. I'll probably ask for this for my birthday as well. And yeah, we'll go from there. The thing that I'm actually interested in, though, the BX08 battle deck set, this is what I was going to mention. I don't know what this is. They're releasing a second set early on like this. So, my thought, right? So there is, some recolors, but I wonder if maybe they're going to give us like the main kind of last recolor, because there's the 4 recolors, or there usually should be. And we have the 2 boosters. There's one other one that I will get to, but that still leaves 1 out. So one of the main 4 bays are not getting recolored. Maybe they put sort of the quote-unquote main recolor in here, then maybe a couple other just extra random bays or something. I don't know. But I'm very curious what they're going to do here. I don't know at all. So this is actually the product, aside from, obviously knowing what the bays look like, that's number 1. I would argue this is probably the most interesting product to me, just as a product. Like the entry sets, whatever, who cares, but like we already kind of know what that is, right? But this is definitely something I want to know more about. Depending on what this is, if it comes with like new base or anything, I will order this day 1 as well, along with the 4 starters, but assuming it's just more recolors or something, I'll probably hold off on this one as well. So I'll get a lot of Burst stuff or not Burst, oh my god, a lot of Beyblade stuff for my birthday, probably. That'll be fun. So anyway, oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but these launch in July, apparently, July 2023, very, very soon. I don't know how I didn't mention that, I don't think I did anyway. And yeah, we'll see if we get any news in the CoroCoro, maybe teasers or something would be very nice, but I don't know if we will. If not, though, 321 is next week. I will definitely be recording another Weekly Blaze for next week, specifically for that, because, come on, we gotta know more about 321. I can't not record that. And then also a Beyblade discussion will go up about it when we get all the proper images and stuff, assuming we'll probably get a full reveal at that point, so yeah. Anyway. Next up is BX09. This is another one that is very interesting. It's called the Battle Pass. No, it's not a Battle Pass like a game, obviously. Apparently this is sort of the new Bay Pointer / Bay Logger. So I'm very interested to see what this is. My assumption is it's probably going to be like a Bay Logger type deal, but maybe a little bit more advanced. Maybe even Probably will have app integration or something like that, but probably will work better, not like a, like a, like the aux cord thing they had on the Baylogger, probably a proper Bluetooth connection, I'm assuming. So, I think the Baylogger Plus had something like that, but I'm pretty sure it was more for like the 3DS, as my voice dies. But yeah, I think this could be pretty cool. Maybe it'll have some, like, I don't know, augmented reality stuff. That'd be really cool. We'll see. My voice is really dying. Hold on, I need a minute. Alright, hopefully I'm fine now. Or at least, like, fine enough to make it through the rest of this. But anyway, yeah, Battle Pass, that's about, I'm pretty curious about that as well. So anyway, next product is going to be BX10, the Stadium. Curious what the Stadium looks like. That'll be fun to see. BX11, the Launcher Grip. So, again, cool. And then BX12 is the deck case. So we're already getting a case of sorts. Interesting. So yeah, there's that. That's a pretty neat, interesting stuff right there. Very excited to see what all that is. Even just like the launcher grip or like, deck case, even though they're not as interesting to me. Curious what the designs are going to be like, I really was not a big fan of the launcher grips for burst, honestly. I really prefer Metal Fight and how ridiculous they got. So hopefully it's something a little bit more like that, I think. Then we have something really strange here. So in the kind of product names, BX05 and BX06, they're just like July Booster A, July Booster B. But then right here we have BXG01, July Booster C. So what is BXG gonna be? Apparently I heard something like this, I think it was like 1600 yen or something, so it's a bit more than other boosters. So I don't know what this is. Is this going to be like a special release? Is it going to be like maybe a WBA store exclusive release? I don't know. So I'm very, very interested to see what this is going to be. Oh, I almost just fell. Oh god, I just stepped on like the edge of my chair. That I did not push that in all the way. I'm not used to that there. I actually almost just like fell backwards. I would have kept that in the video too, because it'd be funny. But yeah, that was almost bad. Anyway, BXG01. Some type of booster, apparently. Likely another recolor. But what is this gonna be? Again, it's probably a recolor, but still, like, why is it more expensive? Is there maybe something weird we don't know yet? Or maybe it's something as simple as it comes with, like, I don't know, it comes with a pass or something, it could be that. So, very, very curious to see what this is gonna be like. So hopefully we get more on that this week. If not, next week. And lastly, we do actually have news for August and September. If you don't remember, way back when Burst first started, we actually did get all the news on kind of like the August, September stuff as well back then. Although, I don't think it was this early though, but still. It was kind of out there at least. And it looks like we have in August a BX13, which is a booster. This probably will not be another recolor booster. I'm assuming this will be like an actual new booster. Unless if they save the fourth recolor just for August, and in that case, I'm actually kind of worried, and we'll come back to that. Because in September we have the last thing, BX14, Random Booster Volume 1, probably a brand new bay, with recolors of all the early bays. July is looking at hype. I am so excited to see what July is going to be. I'm very excited to get all of the new bays. And I think this time around, because in Burst, I remember it took me a month, even though I ordered them before they even came out, it took me a month to get them. That's just how it was back then. Unless you want to pay like ridiculous amounts for shipping, but I hope nowadays, with a lot of the new places and stuff, and new options available, I'll be able to have them within like a week, maybe within even just a couple days of release. That'd be insane. Hell, maybe I could even get them on release day. And then, like, that's just kind of the way, stuff is nowadays. 2015, the internet was definitely around and it was prominent, but it was still newly prominent. It hadn't been kind of a mainstay in society yet. I'm getting way too far into this. Oh my god, I need to chill. Let me take a back seat. We don't need it. I'm talking about Beyblade, man. I don't need to get into all this stuff. But yeah, nowadays, it's definitely something that's been a lot more, perfected and stuff. So Oh god, I don't need to talk about society, in a weekly blaze when I'm talking about Beyblade. That's not something we need to go into. Anyway, enough with that. So, yeah, I'm excited to get them. Regardless, that's the main idea. Let's chill. Anyway, so the one thing I will say that I'm actually a little bit nervous about, because July banger looks phenomenal. We have the four starters, the three boosters, one of which looks a little bit different. We have like the launcher grip, the Bay deck case thing. We have the new you know kind of like main point system with the battle pass. That's looking cool. New stadium. An entry set, a deck set, whatever that's gonna be. But after that, I'm actually a little bit worried because with Burst, in August, we got a booster and a starter. Kind of the fourth recolor booster, then, a brand new starter. Then July, we got a pretty important starter, even came with like a string launcher, the first way to get one. And, well, not the first way, but still, it was one of the first ways to get a string launcher. Probably the first accessible way, but anyway. That, and then also the random booster. This time around, we're only getting one release in August, one release in September. So immediately I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm hoping that there are more releases that are going to come out. Hoping, maybe October we get more stuff, maybe a set and a booster. November, hopefully, maybe two sets and like a booster. And then like December, hopefully there's like a starter and like maybe a random booster volume 2 could be there. Hoping for more releases, hopefully just a little bit of like August, September is just a weird time, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we will get like the boosters, like the three boosters, and then like the deck set all have something new. We get like 8 bays to start. That would be insane. And that would perfectly make sense to why August and September are so bare. I would have no qualms in that case. My wallet would, but I wouldn't. That would be a lot to spend at once. But yeah, I'd honestly be okay with that though. But I don't imagine that'll happen. It's probably going to be those three boosters and the deck case are just, or not deck case, the deck set are just going to be recolors. And there's just going to be the four main bays. Best case scenario, maybe one of those. We get like a fifth bay to start, but again, I doubt that. So that said, assuming that well, I guess not assuming, the booster in August is actually a bit of a contentious point for me. Because is that August booster going to be something like a new bay? Is it going to be like the fifth bay? Or is it going to be the fourth recolor bay? Because again, we only have the 3 slots. Unless they put something in that deck set, we might only be getting, the 3. And that would kind of leave a fourth spot. And it'd be weird to not include it. So maybe that's where we get it in August. Which would really suck. Because then again, we're missing out on a lot of this stuff. That's my one worry right there. Is that we're not getting a lot. And then August will just be that. Like, imagine going into September with only 4 new bays, really. Like, 2 months after launch, we finally get a 5th bay, and it's from a random booster prize. See what I mean why I'm a little bit hesitant? Because by this point in Burst, we already had 8 bays in September. Valkyrie Spriggan, Ragnarok Kirby's to start. The Yamaterios campaign. August, we had, the Death Scyther starter, and then September, Wyvern starter plus Trident random booster. That's already 8. This could potentially just be 5 at worst, and that's not a good start, in my opinion. Unless if they're going to plan to go unnecessarily hard, or maybe I heard a rumor, this isn't confirmed, but I heard a rumor about the anime potentially even starting as soon as fall. If it starts in fall, then I understand, because then it's probably like, oh, they're probably going to release. They're probably not going to do like a basic system. They're probably going to start off with a proper Season 1 system, not, a pre-hybrid wheel, basic layer type thing. It'll probably be the main Season 1 system. In that case, okay, I understand why they would hold back and want fewer releases to start with, because, this is what they're going to, start with. And they don't want to put out everything right away, and that would make a lot more sense to me. I'd perfectly understand that if we're getting an anime in October. But I kind of doubt that still. I think it's going to be April. And in that case, unless they really pump up how many bases they're putting out, potentially only 5 bases by September, maybe 6 October, then like up to 9 in November, 11, 12. I mean, we could be looking at as few as like 13 bases for the whole system. And while I know Burst only had like 17, that's still less, and that's not a lot for a brand new series, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that they put out more stuff. Or maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe the August booster is a 6th bay, or I guess a 5th bay, which would make September the 6th bay. And maybe we get lucky. Maybe the BXG thing is a new one. Maybe we get a 6th bay then from the deck case, or the deck set. And then 7's August, 8 September. We're good. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm very curious about this stuff. But yeah, already half hour in. These are just kind of my general thoughts on, well, I guess Mario Kart and Bakugan. That's probably done for the week. But, yeah, we'll come back to Bottleman and Beyblade, hopefully. Hopefully there's Korokoro news. Assuming for Bottleman, at least. But Beyblade, maybe some more speculation or leaks that we get. So I'll talk about this as it comes out. But, yeah. That's everything for now. My voice is about done anyway, so there you go. Those are my thoughts on Generation X for now. I had quite a bit of them, I think. Just based on these very few leaks, I'm already starting to overthink everything as I do. So anyway, that's all for now. I have some videos to plan out because, well, probably not tonight, probably tomorrow night, because I have to do school stuff, and my sleep schedule is going to be whack because of time change, and I have school stuff tomorrow. It's a whole process, man. I'll just start my video stuff tomorrow night, and then, hopefully get out a couple things I need to get out pretty soon here, and yeah, I still have quite a few videos for March that I need to make, and I need to get going on those. At least most of them. Some of them I guess could probably wait, but I'd rather not. So anyway, that's all for now. I'll be back at some point this week, if nothing else, in time for the Korokoro news. So yeah, very, very excited to see what that's all about, and we'll have to wait and see. A lot of cool stuff coming up. So yeah, hopefully, if again, I might just wait until the Korokoro is out, because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So yeah, that's it. That was a very awkward ending. Okay, sure, why not? Alright, it is now Tuesday. It's like 5 p.m. So time changed. I mentioned that before, but hey, it's actually going to be light out longer now, which is nice. Very excited to see it be light till like 7. I know it's been changed for a couple days, but it was really cloudy out, so excited to actually see this. And yeah, I'm recording during the day for once. That's something. Anyway, Korokoro dropped. We got the official news for some stuff as well. Nothing for Beyblade, so that will be next week. I will talk a little bit more about the 3-2-1 stuff next Weekly Blaze before it drops, and then, of course, I will be going insane with the news once it's out. I'll make a Beyblade discussion video. Speaking of discussion videos, though, I just finished a Bottleman one for the Raid Brave plus the Dragogena magazine, so that will be going up. I'm just going to put it up. I've been doing this recently where I just put up videos sometimes instead of putting up at 5 a.m. I probably don't do that too often. It's just kind of how stuff's kind of worked out recently. It's just been weird. So I'm like, I kind of want to get the video up sooner rather than later. So that's what I've been doing. But it's mainly just been because my recording times have been weird. And because usually I like to record stuff and upload it somewhat quick. Not always, but in these cases sometimes. So yeah. Yeah, it's just been off, so I guess this will be another weird timed video. Hopefully after this one there's not too many more like that. I like to just upload it at a consistent time. Anyway, enough of that. So, no Beyblade, but hey, we got Bottleman news. This wasn't too much extra news. I think we've known a lot of this stuff for a while now. But I will be giving the news what there has been. So we have 5 releases coming up here for the first release of the new season, which is called Bottleman Godcap. Don't like the name, but I'm probably just gonna call it like Bottleman G or something, because they've all been using the G abbreviation instead of DX. It's just G. I might just call it Bottleman G. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, the new season we have 5 releases. The first one is called Draggart G. I don't like that name at all. Draggart. No, I think in like if you pronounce it like in a Japanese type way, it's like not as bad, just because yeah, kind of how like R's work in Japanese. But as someone who is a native English speaker from the Midwest, it does not sound good. So Draggart G is the first one. This is going to be the thing with the big cap. So it has like different modes and stuff. You have like the prong things. You put it on the back actually. And like, I guess it's kind of like a grip almost a little bit. I don't know. It's something like that, I guess. Or it just sits there. I'm not entirely sure. But The main thing to do is put the prongs in the front for the big cap, which is like a normal cap surrounded by like an outer cap thing to make it really big. And if it's off, you can just shoot caps normally. So yeah, you have a big cap, and that's kind of cool. I don't know, just it's nice, you know. Nothing really else to say about this one. It's just something I've already talked about before. It's cool. I like it, but there's not a whole lot to say about it. It just has a big cap in front, and that's kind of hilarious, and hopefully it's cool. It looks weird. I'm not sure how I feel about the appearance of it, but like, it's unique enough to where I'm kind of like, I don't care. It has a unique gimmick, so that's fine with me if it's a little bit weird. Outside of that, though, we have Samet's G. Yes, Samet's G. This thing looks crazy. So it has, of course, the rollers as a speed type. But you also, the trigger looks interesting. It might be long or have some kind of special mechanism. I can't tell. But the trigger looks interesting. You also have this one-handed grip, so it's kind of like a vertical grip. It's like a, how do I explain it? Like, I guess if you go back to like Beat 'em On, like Chrome Zephyr, for example, had kind of the wide grip on the back, like horizontally. It's like kind of like that, but in a vertical way, which I think is going to be really nice to hold on to. This might actually beat out Dot Papillon as the best speed type, we'll see. And lastly, it has a special magazine, which is kind of a one-sided magazine. It goes out. It looks like you put it on either way, but it'll kind of go up and then go outward one way. And for me, I'm left-handed, so I'll probably hold the thing, like the one-handed grip and the trigger with my left hand, and then I'll have the magazine go out to the right, so I could, reload my right hand. That sounds like the move right there, I think. So I'm very excited to try that out. But yeah, I think Draggart G is going to be a cool one to check out and have fun with. But I'm definitely more excited for Samet's G. I think also just Samet's being kind of a legacy Bottleman as well. I don't know what it is. Even with Beyblade and stuff, I feel like a lot of people are on one side or the other. It's either you want to see a lot of new motifs and just new stuff constantly, or you don't care about that and you want evolutions. Like it feels like people are like on one or the other side. Like either yeah, you just want new stuff and you don't care about evolutions, maybe aside from like one or two of the main ones, or you just want to constantly see old stuff brought back and you don't really want new ones. I'm the latter there. I personally prefer evolutions. Beyblade Burst, I don't think did it that well because they constantly did like the same few. You always knew what you were gonna get. Where I kind of was like, okay, you could pick some of the other old ones too. That'd be kind of nice. But yeah, I like when they bring back old ones. And Samus was kind of a weird one. It wasn't really that notable, so I'm kind of glad they're bringing it back, kind of in a first a position here, kind of starting off the season. That's kind of cool to me. Um, so yeah. Next up we have, what is it? Cobalt Bottle G, the Cobalt Blade remake. This thing I actually have some problems with. So I think that the actual remake of Cobalt Blade it's not the best. I definitely think it's a little bit underwhelming for what it is, in my opinion. Not the worst they could have done, but eh. Also, instead of like the gem, because these G Bottlemen, they have like a gem thing on their forehead. It has that removed and has a horn instead. Obviously, that makes sense for what Cobalt is. But if you have like they used Draggart G as the base, of course. But it looks way more normal if you take like the big cap attachment and put it on the back. Then it actually looks kind of okay. But to my knowledge, it doesn't come with that. It doesn't come with the big cap thing. You have to buy that separately. And if you buy it separately, then you can put it on. It actually looks better. But the problem is that's not like how it's advertised either. But still, why are they selling a recolored Draggart G in like this Cobalt Blade theme without the main gimmick of the Bottleman? That just sucks to me. I don't like that. I feel like they should include it anyway and put it on the back and advertise like that. And you could also advertise, hey, if you want to, put the big cap here. If you have other ones, then you can do that. But it's meant to be on the back for Cobalt. That makes sense. That's what they should have done. Unless I'm wrong, they include it, but I don't think they have to my knowledge. I'm like 99% sure it's not there. That sucks. So yeah, so the other two releases though, they're just kind of like extra stuff. So like there's a set, comes with a red Draggart G and a kind of silver-ish, grayish Samet's G. You also get multiple types of caps. So one of them is looks like a normal cap, but like the inside's like weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's like the normal sized cap, but then like the inside is like has this weird inner piece to it. I guess that's different. The big cap I already described. Oh yeah, the hollow caps. So there's these caps where it's like the sides of the cap that goes all the way around, but like the top of the cap isn't there. It's just a hole. It's literally just a circle. That's the cap. That's all there is to it. And that's actually what Samet's comes with. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Samet's will have these types of caps. So looks like we have three new types of caps. We have the first type that it's going to be used with Draggart. The other type, kind of the hollowed out type, which is going to be used with Samet, and this other weird type of cap, which maybe it'll just be a side thing, but I'm assuming will probably be used with whatever control type we get first, because apparently we don't have control types yet. Likely will be the next wave, which will probably just be like a one bottle man. But that's probably where it'll be, I'm assuming. So that's that. And then there's some games, some extra stuff in the set, whatever, cool. You had all the types of caps and some targets. It's nice. It looks nice. I might get it eventually. I've said that with all the other sets and I haven't, but maybe we'll see. I don't know. Outside of that, there's also the last release, which is just a kind of a cap pack, I guess you'd call it. Comes with 3 of the big caps, so there you go. And that's kind of the early releases. So yeah, pretty good. Also, there's one big thing I did not mention yet, which is kind of the difference between DX and G Bottleman. So the armor parts, like all like the head, the arms, the legs, any attachments, accessory type things, are all cross compatible between DX and G. So the big cap and then also the like the big cap prongs and then also like the new Samet's magazine, those should both be cross compatible to my knowledge, which is really cool. So yeah, you can go back to DX with those, and if you want to bring up like I don't know like a long magazine or a long barrel for G, you can. So pretty cool. But the thing is the main thing I noticed here was the cores. These were the different parts. They have the same types of hold parts. I could just tell, based on like, I don't know, Samet's having the same rollers and stuff. Definitely kind of a similar core style, but the main thing was that the trigger was different. The triggers seem to be kind of attached differently. Both Draggart and Samet's have different types of backs with the triggers, with kind of how they're attached, it looks like. And there's no more cap to screw them on, they're just embedded into the core. We knew this before, but it seems that they actually did keep this in mind. And yes, you will be able to customize. So the core is actually split in half. So you could take a back half of a core and then a front half of a core and mix them around and stuff. That's how you could kind of get different triggers and stuff. But this has a pretty interesting secondary effect to where you'll have the front pieces, which will have one of 3 types. You'll have the power type cores, with just the power hold parts. Control cores, which can attach barrels, or also they have the control hold parts too, or the speed ones, which just have the rollers. But the back ones, obviously it's trigger dependent. Any triggers and stuff will be carried over depending on the Bottleman, but for power types and control types, that's it. But for speed types, the magazines are like that's where the port is. So basically, we will have actual customization with that. That means that, like, you can't have a power type with a barrel from what I've seen, but you can have a speed type with just its normal, speed hold parts, but also you could do like a back half with like a magazine with power hold parts or a magazine with a barrel. So magazines, it looks like, because of the new customization with taking the back halves, you can put a magazine on literally anything. Yes, the triggers are restricted, but still, that's fine in my opinion. I mean, it's going to be the same triggers for everyone, so it doesn't really matter. Any trigger from a speed type that has a magazine port, it's universal. It's not like you're going to have, like, speed types are still busted because, they have some specialty. No. Everyone has the same trigger and magazine if they're using a magazine, obviously, so there you go. So, okay, that's cool. It's still a little bit more restricted than it probably needed to be, but at the same time, I'm just happy to see that magazines will be able to be used with any hold parts. So I would say that's a pretty big plus. If this is how they want to do it, then yeah, sure. Fair trade. Yeah, cool. I will say there are 2 criticisms I have, though. Well, one's not really a criticism, more just kind of something I'm worried about, and then the other one is actually a criticism. So the criticism is that this is called Bottle Man. We really saw this in the prototype system with Bottle Man, where it was like, okay, and could people not drive loudly? This is why I like recording at night better. It's just quieter out, but anyway. So, alright. Prototype system, you have kind of a bottle, like a vertical bottle. It looked like a bottle. The face sticker was on the bottle. Then you kind of had armor parts to go around it. It felt like a literal bottle man. You had the bottle was like the avatar with all of its parts kind of surrounded, kind of like the actual design with the bottle, right? It was cool. That made no sense, but hopefully it made enough sense. Anyway, with DX, it definitely changed up to where, okay, now the arms and legs are still similar, but the head is kind of its own piece. It has the cap there still, usually, or the cap somewhere on the body, but it's not the same. The bottle's now, kind of a horizontal thing, and kind of just laying there. It has the cap on the back with the trigger, but it's like, okay, well, now it's more just that not really a bottle man, but it just has like, it's more of a beat 'em on with a bottle incorporated into the design. And now with this, it's like, okay, well, we don't have the backs with the caps anymore with the triggers and stuff. These are just kind of cores at this point. This is literally just beat 'em on that shoot caps at this point. So yeah, the whole thing about Bottleman just feels kind of gone at this point, in my opinion. That's one thing I'm not really the biggest fan of. I wish they would have kept that to some extent, but I guess not. The other thing, which is more of a worry, but there's no anime. It doesn't look like there's an anime unless they announce it like tonight or tomorrow or something. I'll come back and retroactively say like, hey, no, that's, we're all good. But as of right now, there's no anime. I'm actually worried about this because if they're not doing an anime and they're doing a system that is different, kind of, but it definitely feels like an extension to DX. Is this like the BU of Bottleman? Is it just going to be like a DX second half, but with an extra component added on, and then, we're kind of just going without an anime, and that'll be that. Once it's done, it's probably just done. If there's no anime. Unless, Bottleman's been weird, though, because it was like, okay, we had from, October 2020 to January 2021. I guess technically March 2021 the anime was going, and we had releases for part of that through January. January to March, no releases, but the anime was still going. But then from like March till July, there were just like recolors and stuff. Then July until January 2022 was just more releases of Bottleman stuff, but no new anime or anything. They were just kind of releasing them. And then there's a bit of a dry period from January to April. But then April through, I guess I'll just say March of this year, we had DX. The anime was going. We had releases throughout a lot of this time period. And then if we get nothing again, is it just going to be like another random break? And then we'll maybe get another season in a few months or next year? Or is it just what I'm thinking is that this is just kind of a rest of DX type of thing, but with like a new twist to it, kinda, and then after they finish these, they're just done. And if that happens, yeah, we're not going to see the Beat 'em on / Bottleman franchise till like 2030. So yeah, I'm kind of mixed though, because here's the thing: if they keep going, I'll be glad because I like Bottleman a lot. But if they stop, I'm not going to be that upset. I'll be upset, but it's like, here's the thing: I already have a lot of things to spend money on, and like if one of them goes away, it's like, okay, that sucks because I like the series, but at the same time, it's like I don't have to spend money on it either, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, it's still not like I'd still say it's more negative than positive because I just like Bottlemen. But yeah, just from what I've seen so far, unless if I'm proven wrong and there is an anime announced like tonight or maybe tomorrow, I think that Bottleman actually might just be done by like the end of the year or like early next year, honestly. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, honestly, if that's the case, but we'll see. However, for now, let's just focus on these new Bottlemen because they look really cool. We'll focus on all the new releases, and it'll be hype. That said, we actually do have a release date. So for a release date, I was hoping for April. I kind of assumed it'd be April, right? I was hoping for early April. I kind of figured it'd be late April, and it is the 25th of March. I was completely shocked by this. So they're actually releasing these on March 25th, which means in like 2 weeks we could already have these things, which is insane. Like a week and a half they come out. I don't know when I'll get them. Just because, I live in a different country that's not Japan, but yeah, no, I could potentially have these on any day around then, like maybe Monday, Tuesday, hopefully by Friday or something of that week. But yeah, no, I should have these very, very soon. And like they're just gonna be out soon, which is weird because it was like, okay, there's kind of like this whole mystery. We got some leaks before. Now we're getting the new type of Puddle Man fully revealed, and it's exciting. And I figured that there'd be like at least like a month of like waiting time. Then maybe next month we'd get like more stuff on them or something, and then like okay, releasing very soon after. But no, they're just releasing them now. Cool. So I'm assuming that the April release will probably just be control type, and then yeah, we'll go from there, I guess. But yeah, very very excited for these. Very interested to see how they go. So yeah, I'll be getting them as soon as I can. But yeah, that's the Bottleman news, and that's kind of all the news for this week, I think. Unless if there's some random stuff that they announce for Bottleman soon, like an anime, I'll talk about that if it happens. But if not, then yeah, I don't know what else to talk about this week. If nothing else, I'll just end off the episode in a bit here. But hopefully there's something else. I'm hoping the anime gets announced, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all for now. So I will come back eventually later on this week for whatever reason. So yeah. Alright, it's now Saturday at like 1 a.m. Gonna end this one off here because, I mean, I want to get ready for the 3-2-1 stuff coming up soon for next weekly Blaze, but for this one thing I had to edit really quick. So I mentioned how there were 3 types of caps coming up for the new Battleman God Cap series. It's actually incorrect. So there's like the big cap, of course, with Draggart G, kind of the hollow ring cap for Samet's G, but I said there's a third type of cap, there is not. It's actually a cap weight. So you put these weights inside normal caps, which could also be put into the big cap, and normal caps go into the big cap. Don't know if you put these into like the hollow caps or not, but I'd assume not. But yeah, basically it's just a weight to just, well, I guess add more weight, and that's kind of that. Maybe adds a little bit more resistance as well inside, I don't know. Like reinforcing the inside with potentially more power. I don't know if that'll work the way I think it does, but maybe. But I just wanted to edit that because I saw in the video that it was like that. I'm like, oh, I made a mistake. That's the only thing that I messed up on, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's all. That's all for this weekly Blaze. I don't really have anything else for it. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.